Welcome to the Deviant Duo. Before we get started, we'd like to give a content warning for this episode. Today we'll be discussing sexual abuse, trauma, and some of the lasting effects these experiences can have on survivors. While our aim is to approach these topics with care, sensitivity, and respect, we recognise that these conversations may be difficult, upsetting, or triggering for some listeners. Everyone's experiences are different, and topics like these can affect people in ways that aren't always predictable. If you have lived experiences or abuse or trauma, or if you're simply not in the right headspace to engage with these subjects today, please know that it's completely okay to skip this episode, take a break, or come back to it another time. Throughout the discussion, we'll be talking openly about the realities of abuse and its impact on individuals and relationships. While we won't be including graphic descriptions, the subject matter itself may still be distressing. As always, your well-being comes first. Please listen at your own pace, take care of yourself, and don't hesitate to step away if you need to. If this episode brings up any difficult feelings or memories for you, please remember that support is available. If you're in the UK, organisations such as Samaritans can provide information, support, and someone to talk to. If you're listening elsewhere in the world, we encourage you to seek out local support services in your area. With that said, thank you for joining us, and let's begin.
Welcome back to the Demon Duo with me, Quincy, and...
Me, Dax. Hooray!
Yay! I haven't done an intro in a little while, so that felt very weird. I liked it. So, anything new to add? Anything going on? No?
Not really, apart from the fact that the weather has been that hot that everything is sweating and everyone's just musky at this point.
I feel like every time we come onto the podcast, we say it's hot. It's a very British thing to do. It's either hot or it's cold, it's wet. Yeah. We're being very like British here, going, oh, the weather.
But to be fair, we did start the podcast at this end of April?
Yeah, we did, yeah. So we are getting mixed weather, really, isn't it? Springtime, it's hot, It's cold, it's wet, it's not. So this is now, we've been recording for a month now. Oh, God.
Not a month straight, because that would be exhausting, but it's a month worth of recording we've done now. So we're doing pretty good.
We could record for a month straight if you want.
That would be several terabytes worth of data, and I'm not editing that.
Yeah, all the plants are starting to grow. Some are dying because of the heat, but it's. I am glad that it's getting a lot more colourful. It's nearly, well, by the time this comes out, it's bride season. It should be colourful.
Dun dun dun. Yeah,
I know. Burn the gays in the heat.
Oh my God. You can't say that.
Why?
Can't say burn the gays. That's homophobic.
Oh, okay. What if I am gay? Well, I'm not gay, but yeah, what if I am? No, that's getting confusing now.
There you go. See, ruined it.
Can I say burn the bis then? Because of, well, bi plus. Oh, well, this gets confusing. Let's not talk about sexuality. Let's talk about our guests. So.
Yeah.
Oh,
hello.
Hello.
That was to listen to. I kind of feel that, you just draw a sort of ring around me and set it on fire in order to... I mean, that's how you summon me, to be honest. You draw a pentagram in the middle of the floor, adorn it with a load of dildos, and I just rise out of the middle of the floor because I am chaotic. I'm Kemriss. Nice to talk to you both. This has been kind of a while in the making. Originally meant to record it a few weeks ago, but unfortunately my health got in the way. I do apologise for that, but I'm here now. I'm basically the neon purple professional brat, and you'll see me zipping around events, making inaudible gremlin noises, genuinely causing a trouble. And, there's normally a method to my madness when I'm zipping around. I'm constantly scanning the room for lone wolves that are there on their own in order to, sort of approach them and say, hey, do you want to join the fold? Have some fun. And I'm usually around events such as Scritches, canine, animals when I go up to Manchester, which seems to be quite a lot recently that I've been going to Manchester. But yeah, I'm Kemriss. Hi.
Yeah, God, I haven't been at a Manchester event in 3 years now. Can you believe that? 3, yeah.
You're missing out. To be fair, well, to be fair, it does depend on the event. You know, some events are a lot more busier than others, but then it all depends on what sort of person is attending, if they want a massive event or not, if they want a smaller event. So it's what I really like about Manchester is that there's quite a few events to go to, and you know they are sort of tailored to different types of people, whether you're an introvert, extrovert, and that's what I like about Manchester. Like I really like the events there because of that reason.
I did enjoy the events. The whole thing was, though, is that I was going to the events with my partner at the time, who is sadly no longer with us. I mean, to be fair, if talking about the second coming, it does sound very kind of spiritual. I don't know if you guys have played Cult of the Lamb. My cult is called the Dax Devout.
Oh my god!
It sounds like Darklands. You know, all the hooded figures. It does. I missed it.
See, I've yet to go. My plan is to go there next year. I know. I've yet to do an event abroad. So I am doing Mas Paloma's Fetish Bride this year, which I just paid off today. I just paid that off today. Because I was blessed by the gods. I don't know whether we can plug like banks here, but I got my pay doubled by Monzo. So I got chosen. They do this thing where they randomly choose 10 people a month and double their payday, and I was one of them. So Mas Paloma's paid for itself, really. I'm quite lucky in that regard.
Damn.
No, this is the thing. I spent 34 years STI free, moved to where I'm living now, and since then, it's just a resurgence. And you know, occupational hazard, I guess. You know, in the kink world, it happens. But yeah, I maintained a 34-year streak, and then it was broken.
Fair. I mean, I would say that's pretty damn lucky then. I always find that Darklands I come away with something. I was very lucky this year that I came away with nothing. So
same. Yeah. Oh, shocked. DoxyPEP all the way.
What's the worst thing you've done?
So I would say the worst thing that I've done is actually something that I do on purpose to keep the community around me safe.
Ooh.
We all know that there's some bad eggs within the pub community.
Oh,
you know, people who push boundaries or are just not very nice to people at events.
Yep.
I'm not one to call out drama. I'm not one to, you know, put it on a pedestal and announce to people, this person is not good. But what I do is if that person approaches me and tries to engage, I don't talk to them. I just audibly heave until they leave. I just make retching noises until they leave my personal space. And I have been called out on it before. Someone did dare to ask, and I did, you know, give them a big dose of reality of, I've seen what you've done at events. That doesn't vibe with me. So this is my way of telling you to fuck off.
Love that.
I told him exactly why. If you've done me, my friends, or the community wrong, you're not getting the charming version of me, or the version that's happy gremlin noises.
Yep.
You'll get
there is a charming version.
There is sometimes. Normally it's just me. Normally it's just me like audibly retching until you think that I'm going to vomit on your shoe. And especially when the hood goes on. I mean, in real life, I'm not one to give a shit anyway. You know, if someone does me wrong, I will say to them why they've done me wrong. But when the hood goes on, it's just like a little bit different of a version of that. But it just wrapped in a nice giant ball of chaos.
No, I love that. That is such a... I really vibe with that.
No, I do. I call it out. I call that sort of stuff out. But I also kind of call out, people who have built bad reputations, and it's based on the fact that they've got like a big Twitter following or something, and they think it gives them a free pass to do whatever the fuck they want at events. And a lot of events, unfortunately, allow it to fly under the radar. And that's what I don't like. I don't like attending an event and seeing someone there that I know has done multiple people wrong in, both, a consent sense or, just the way that they treat people. And I don't like it. I don't vibe with it. We're all there to have fun. Yes, I get it. But don't have fun at the expense of other people.
Yeah.
And I really hate people that do that. And, you know, I've had people like say to me, oh, it's when the hood goes on, it's a different version of me. Fuck off. Do you know what I mean? Yeah, have a different version of you come out at events. But, you know, you're there to explore kink and stuff. You're not there to explore kink at the expense of others. And that's something that I don't abide at all.
No, absolutely, because there's definitely people where I see the hood goes on, different persona comes out, and the different persona is, you know, a lot more energy and confidence than their normal persona. But there is definitely people where they put the hood on and suddenly they think, oh well, nobody knows it's me, I'm just gonna act like a right prat.
And especially it kind of gets worse as well when you're kind of like in a kink space that involves like dark rooms and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And I'm very much one to, you know, I'm always observing. One, because I'm a horny bastard.
Yeah.
And you know, two, you know, I do like sort of perusing those spaces and gives you a different vibe. But then you kind of notice out the corner of your eye, there's that one person that kind of looks, you know, I wouldn't say out of place, but they look like they're uncomfortable. Mm-hmm. I'm the first one right there to check in. And this is what I feel sorry for with so many, you know, puppies who feel that they don't have that voice and feel that they need to, you know, conform to, you know, that area of the dark room, that if you're down there, anything goes. No, that's not the case. You know, even if you're in a dark room and there's no one there to sort of like, let's say, enforce the rules. I know a lot of people don't have the voice to enforce their own rules, and when I'm there, I'm constantly scanning for that sort of shit, because it's something that I've held passionate for absolute years, of being able to say no when you can, because at one point I never had that.
Yes.
Sort of thing, but I'm doing it as a means. I'm doing it as a means to an end for both my protection and other people.
No, I totally understand that. And I completely get what you're saying about the kind of the dark rooms and maybe new people not understanding the kind of the way things
dynamic
work. Because definitely it's very different vibe, especially at Darklands. Quincy, you'll be able to attest to this, where outside of the dark rooms in Darklands, there is a lot going on. And then in the dark rooms, there's even more going on. But they did, like, you can just say no. But I don't think a lot of people quite understand that. And they think, oh, well, this is what's meant to happen in here. They don't quite understand that consent is there.
I think the other issue is her cruising language.
Yes.
It's something that's not really talked about. So I know multiple types of cruising language. There are multiple types. And especially at Darklands, when the dark rooms are so dark, you can't communicate by like doing any sort of body language or anything, because you can't see anyone. You are blind as a bat unless someone's right in your face. So, and also Europeans, a lot about touch the leg, touch the inner leg or outer leg, and just slightly stroke. If someone grabs your hand, or you keep them doing it, or you let them do it, then that is implied consent. That's one of the older cruising languages. If you push it away or you move away, that is no. That's and some people don't know that, so then that gets misconstrued, and people are like, oh well, I should let that happen. No, you don't have to let that happen. Move away. Just tell them no. So anyway, and then you've got different, you could do gestures and stuff like that. And the thing is we're not very good, I'd say, in the puppy realm with a cruising language and how to communicate consent sometimes in those dark room spaces. I don't know if it's a lack of information. I don't know if it can be autism and neurodivergence. I struggle very much with communication being on the neurodivergent scale. And it's taken me a lot of work to try and improve it. But a newcomer who's neurodivergent, that a lot of puppies are, studies say that a lot of puppies are neurodivergent, that communication skills can be very difficult outside of the dark room, let alone inside a dark room. So that's another challenge. And I think we need to do a lot more support, like Ken was saying, scanning, supporting people. Also, dungeon monitors. Pretty much, Kemriss should be in a dungeon monitor without being an official dungeon monitor.
Yeah.
But we should have them really in all our spaces for support and looking after each other. But we don't seem to have them as much. But and also maybe posters about how to communicate consent in a dark room.
Yeah,
having a poster should go in. A poster should go in. If someone's touching your leg, push away or walk away for no. If you want them to continue, grab their hand and bring them closer, or allow them to continue. Do you mean it's this thing of there's not much very good education and communication on this and support really, considering how many dark rooms there are, especially in Manchester. There isn't as much support as I'd hope, but that was my little soapbox moment.
No, I fully agree though. This is the thing. I do fully agree. There needs to be a whole lot more kind of, education around it, because there are people, that some people's first pop event is a darkroom experience.
Yeah.
And, and it can get overwhelming. I've known of pups who've gone to a darkroom and then never gone again because of the experience that they had, because, a lot of, new puppies are quite young, and young puppies obviously draw and garner that attention, and they get overwhelmed with that attention, like you said, because of neurodivergency, that they're not used to, because they've not received that level of all sort of attention before. So they don't know how to react. And sometimes they react by shutting down. And to some people, that means a free pass, and then it fucking scars them.
Yeah.
And it's that sort of experience that we don't want in the kink community. We want the kink community space to be very fucking welcoming to everyone. And I'm sort of like, I say I'm unlucky that I entered the kink community quite late. So I was in like my late 20s when I entered the kink community. So I already had, those life lessons of, being in a sexually abusive relationship. So I knew what to look out for and what to say no to. And I knew how to say no, because I'd built up that over the years of being, being that lost puppy and being that person who didn't know how to say no, to all of a sudden thinking, actually, I do know how to say no. But, I've had those life lessons. Some puppies haven't, and they don't know how to navigate those waves, and they don't navigate them. They just allow themselves to drift. And I do feel sorry that for any puppy that has gone through that, whether they've been in a dark room or outside of a dark room, it's not something that I would ever want or wish on anybody. So I think we've got to do all we can as a close-knit community, because the pup community is very close-knit. Everybody knows everybody. So everybody sort of knows everyone. We're all linked, we're all intertwined. We have a friend in common and stuff like that. So if we have that close-knitness, then maybe we should use that close-knitness to protect those that aren't as, I don't know what the correct word, but the ones that are, say, assimilated. I don't fucking know. You wouldn't know that I had a A-level in English. Jesus Christ. But but it's if we used all of our close-knitness to protect those that aren't part of our little groups, little cliques that are still intertwined, we would have like one of the most steadfast sex communities in the fucking world. And I think that's what we're lacking, is we're lacking that sort of group guardianship for other people. And it's something that I would genuinely wish would happen, is that we have a sort of like group guardianship over the new people and stuff like that. And it's good that we've got like Telegram channels and stuff like that for the different the different groups and the different events, because that way people get to know the sort of vibe that they're doing before they do it. You know, I've introduced quite a few people to like the Squitches chat. I've introduced quite a few people to the Animals Manchester chat, just so they can say hi and get to know people and make plans and stuff like that. Because going into an event blind, I think increases that risk of those interactions. But going in there with some sort of level of plan of, oh, I'm going to do something with this puppy, or I'm going to do something with this puppy, it pads your night, so you're not at risk of being left alone.
I'm there's so many things that are going through my head. One is that it's quite weird you're saying this, because there is sometimes a close-knit community, because a lot of the time I play Uncle Quincy. So there's a lot of packs that I know, and when there's an issue or multiple issues, it's normally go to Quincy. Go speak to Quincy. Yeah. Quincy, go sort it out. And that's really nice. And I do really like it in terms of people respect that I can come sort something out, but also that there is that support for everyone, that they know, oh, you can go over there and someone will help you. And it is interesting, and there is a lot more work to do. I think especially for newcomers. I think there's sometimes it's an issue with certain people getting involved and grabbing people quickly and steering them down paths, and that can be an issue. But I think there's a lot of work we can do.
But yeah, the failed experiment of Remisk made me think of another way to sort of say to people, I'm ready to be a gremlin and I'm ready to be approached, and that is something that I called the low spoon protocol. And I've got a little tiny spoon that I put in my snoot. And when that spoon's in the snoot, it means that I'm ready to be approached. I'm ready to be sociable. And when I'm feeling, low on spoons, I will pull that spoon out and put it in my pocket. So then if the spoon's not there, people know I will approach them rather than they approach me. And it has actually worked better than having a whole different fucking hood. Like, the smallest thing has brought the most attention to the fact that, hey, I've got neurodivergency. Sometimes I will get overwhelmed with shit. So, pulling out my spoon means that I'm overwhelmed and I need a break. And people will go up to me and go, oh, your spoon's in. Cool, we can chat. And I think that's really fucking cool that little tiny spoon has made that much of a difference. Yeah.
But anyway, talking about sex, you said to me beforehand that you carry doxy with you now. So you start carrying doxy, and it's not just for yourself, was it? That you carry it to events, or what was it?
Yeah, so I carry it to events for, other people as well, because there's, you're entering a kink space where, there are condoms lying around, but they're normally in the packet and they're not used. So
what's a condom?
And this is the sort of thing, and there's a lot of people that, the NHS have only just started rolling out DoxyPEP to, the wider community. And where I live, they still haven't handed it out, so I have to buy mine privately. And one of my friends walked in and they literally looked ghost white and they were shaking. And I was like, what the fuck's happened to you? And they just immediately burst out into tears. And they were like, I've just hooked up with someone. And they waited until afterwards to message me on Grindr to say, hey, I've not been tested in a while. So you might want to get yourself checked out. And I was like, what a prick. What a prick. And I just literally gave him a hug and I was like, cool, don't worry, I got you. And I pulled out my doxy and I went, take 2 of these. Have you ever taken doxycycline before? And they were like, yes. And I was like, okay, so, you're not allergic. And they were like, no. And I went, okay, so take 2 of these. It won't get rid of all the nasties that you may have got, but it may help you, kind of not get certain things and also put you at peace of mind. And I also told them to get the fuck out of the sun for like the next 48 hours.
Oh, yeah.
Because it increases the chance of you getting fucking sunburn. But literally since then, Doxy Dog has been a thing, and I'll always put like a post on my Twitter saying, "Hey, I'm at Animals. If you have a good time and you go in raw and you're worried, contact me and we'll sort out some doxy." And obviously I've always explained the risk to them as well. Stay the fuck out of the sun. Normally it's just me pretending to melt as Kemriss and just put on a fucking show about it so it sinks in, because you can just say to someone, stay out the sun, and they'll be like, yeah, all right then. But if I'm pretending to be a fucking mess on the floor, writhing, this is what will happen to you, it kind of sinks in. But yeah, I've always done it every kink event that I've gone to, and it's actually been, quite a hit. I've received, quite a few messages. Take 2 of these to stop the fucking nasties getting to you, but you're not protected against gono because we've got super gono over here that requires a jab. So get yourself fucking tested in 2 weeks' time.
Love that.
And it's just something that, it's just something that I've always done since 2024. And I like doing it because it's me offering that little bit more umbrella of protection over the community, because, you hear about, a resurgence of fucking scabies for one of them. I know Doxy doesn't protect against scabies, but, scabies is massive at the moment in the kink community. And things like that, you don't know what somebody has at face value. We don't all have a fucking screen on our chest that says, this person has chlamydia or this person has gonorrhea. So take your PrEP every fucking day, take doxy every time that you meet someone, and get yourself checked 2 to 3 weeks afterwards, because you're not only protecting yourself and giving yourself some self-respect, but you're also protecting the wider community instead of jumping from event to event to event, not knowing that you've got something and you're carrying that to the whole entire community.
I can't do daily. I have to do event-based PrEP.
Yeah, event-based is good as well.
My body doesn't like it.
What are those?
That's one of the side effects of PrEP is neutropenia. And mine is not good anyway. So then when I take PrEP daily, it crashes. So got to be careful of the side effects.
Doxycycline's a weird one for me, because if I take doxy on an empty stomach, I am violently ill.
But this is the thing, like doing research into those drugs, like I do research on everything that I take. And it was, through my research that I realized as well that if you take PrEP, not a lot of people know this, but a lot of people take things like Pure for Men and flaxseed tablets.
Oh, yeah.
Those
Iron
if you
tablets.
take those 2 together. Yeah, no. So flaxseed tablets, obviously for, the bottoms out there that take them, they are a fucking godsend. But a lot of people don't know that it actually cancels out PrEP.
Oh,
yeah, it can do.
It can cancel out PrEP. If you take it, basically it stops the PrEP going to the area that it's supposed to, because it binds it and then it flushes it from your body. So you're meant to leave 2 hours between taking the PrEP and the digestionates, shall we say, so I'm capturing that whole umbrella. It's
Fiber
not
supplement.
just Pure for Men. Fiber supplements,
and normal supplements as well. There's I think it's iron or one of the vitamins or minerals in some of the multivitamins. You shouldn't really take multivitamins with PrEP either, because that can inhibit as well. So you've got to take it 6 hours after you've taken a multivitamin. And these things aren't really explained to you when you're in the clinic.
No, they're not. And my biggest push that I always push people to actually do research into is a website called NICE, BNF, the British National Formulary. You type in medication into there and interactions, and you type in another medication that you take, and it will show you every single interaction it has with those medications. I cannot love this website enough. So they know the interactions better than anybody, better than I would be able to tell you, or anybody would be able to tell you.
And anything reported goes on there quite quickly as well. So if there is a lot of reporting, that does pop up. So it's always good to keep an eye on it as well. It's an interesting thing, because I haven't really heard about many people sharing DoxyPEP. I know that the NHS and health professionals don't always like it. I've got to be careful what I say. But I remember when I forget my PrEP. So I might bring a PrEP bottle and go, oh, I've got loads of pills in there. I open it up, I start having it. And then by one of the days I go, shit, I've either spilt the bottle or I miscounted, or do you mean? And normally I would go to ask a friend, and then I say, oh, I'm really sorry if you've got any spare PrEP tablets. And they'll go, yeah, there you go. Here's 10. and it's always been the thing. We do look after each other's health. If
We do.
really, we are very good at that. Unfortunately, there's a few people that let us down by not sharing statuses, by not getting checked regularly. There are inhibitions of why many people might do that, but there is positives and negatives, and I think it is quite positive. As much as I know the NHS don't like it, but I do. It is very nice when you've forgotten something, or you haven't got it, or you haven't been able to go get it, and you go, do you mind just bringing a few extra PEP tablets? Do you mind bringing some doxy? I haven't been able to go to the clinic recently. Could you just bring some with you? It is really nice, and it is really comforting to know that we do look after each other.
Yeah, definitely.
But yeah, we'll see which. We might not need PEP pills anymore. They might go to the injection.
Yes, I know that where I live, they've actually chosen that place to do some blanket things in the future. It was mentioned to me by one of the nurses. They were like, "Oh, we're going to be offering the injection soon." So I've signed up for that. I've not been offered it yet. So hopefully, I just hope it's as effective as
It is. They use it for people. So all of did you know a lot of the PrEP and all that sort of stuff is actually developed for people with HIV to go to undetectable. So the injections have actually been used for people with HIV. So they're and people get to an undetectable level. So they're pretty sure. No, they're never going to be 100%, but they're pretty sure that this is going to work. So I haven't got any reservations about it because I'm very confident it's been tested. Obviously, people need to do their own research, speak to their healthcare professionals to see if it is appropriate for them and if they're comfortable doing it.
Yeah.
That's my spiel.
Nice.
And now going on to a bit more of a turn, we say there are bad people in the community. Something you were very happy for me to talk about, and something that you said I would like to talk about, is that you have been a victim of sexual assault in the past, if I'm correct.
Yeah, that's correct.
Yeah.
And so... No, carry on. Apologies, I'm jumping.
No. I was just going to say it, and it is something that happens, and it's really important, I think, for us to share what you're comfortable with sharing. If you need to stop or you want to go, actually, give me a minute, totally fine. We'll allow that because I think it's a really important conversation. We need to respect you in this conversation.
Yeah. So the weird thing is like there's only a few people know about my kind of, the stuff that I've gone through. I tend to keep my own issues to myself whilst I'm also there for everybody else. And I'm really good at compartmentalizing stuff into little boxes and putting it into my brain. But with this, I kind of felt like it's now is the time to talk about it, because when I was offered up onto this podcast, I was just like, this is something that is prevalent not only in the kink space but in society as a whole, and that is the victims of sexual assault, and it's an unfortunate side of being human, that this sort of stuff happens, and it's absolutely disgusting that people have to go through it. But consent and aftercare are so personal to me because it's the core of everything I am and everything I do, and it's made consent and aftercare my absolute non-negotiable North Star. So I spent 11 years in a relationship that started great but eventually went very, very fucking dark. But I was raped on too many occasions to count by my ex-partner. And at the time, I didn't have the tools to process it, so I just compartmentalized it into my own body to survive. And I used to carry a lot of shame because for me to deal with that, I chose to cheat, to have sex on my own terms. And it wasn't until years later when I actually went through therapy which I had to pay for privately, by the way, because the NHS fucking waitlist for therapy is absolutely disgusting.
Of course, yeah.
Yeah.
My therapist turned around and said, "Did you cheat so you could just have sex on your own terms?" And that's when it finally clicked. I was so starved for my own autonomy and my choice over my own skin that I went looking for it elsewhere. And I was torn between trying to be loyal to someone hurting me and just wanting to own myself again. And we did eventually break up because he found somebody else. And the last thing that he ever said to me was, "I hope I don't do to them what I did to you." And that was the only apology I ever got. And it took me a long time to realize that being in love had clouded my vision and I couldn't see that it was something that never should have happened to me. And now, because of that, I'm the check-in pup, because for a decade, no one ever checked in on me. I never want anyone to feel that hollow silence that I once lived. And reaching out to the lone wolves at events is how I rescue that version of me that was stuck in the cage for 11 years. And I'm 3 years out of that relationship now, and I've never been so happy to finally have total fucking control over my own sex life. But yeah, it's something that I think has shaped me into what I am today. I should never have gone through it. But I think that the version of me now is the version of myself that has pulled myself through those really dark and harrowing times. And I'm actually surprised that I've kept myself together, because when I did like the sort of, I say, rehearsal with my friend, I just break down in tears at this part. So I'm actually super fucking proud of myself for holding myself together. I may have spoken a bit too fast to get myself through it. But yeah, it's this version of me is because I went through that harrowing time. And if there's anything that I can do to prevent other people from going through the time that I'm almost there, fuck. Ooh. If there's anything that I can do to, get other people to not have that time at all, or if they've had that sort of experience, then I will always be there for anybody that has been through what I've been through. Because it's just a harrowing, disturbing, nasty experience to go through.
So obviously we have a consent carousel on Instagram. So if you want to learn more about consent, we've already published that before the podcast. It does go through what consent is, and it is a really important guide for anyone out there. There are a lot of resources out there if you have been a victim of sexual assault. A lot of them are really good, and they'll close straight away. They have little click out buttons. So if you are worried and you're in a relationship and you're worried about doing it while someone's there, you can click out of it really quickly and no one will know. So do look for those resources, speak to people at events. There are people to help. And there is a lot of help, and people do help. If you just speak to people, message people, people will help.
No, so obviously that's a lot, and I'm really sorry you had to go through that. And I'm glad that you are in a better headspace now and have gone through the steps of growing from an experience like that, because it's the way I see something like that is that they take a piece of you and they kind of revert you back to something that you're not happy with, and you have to grow from something new. How would you describe your kind of journey to getting where you are now? Would you say you've grown a lot? Would you say you've grown a little bit? Or what is your journey to you?
I think I've grown a lot over the past year and a half. My relationship ended with them in 2023, and I was very much sort of a shell for about 7 to 8 months. Okay. And then I met someone who was into pop, and we went out for about a year and things ended. And I always have a level of gratitude towards them, despite how things ended. I have, a level of gratitude for them for introducing me to the pop scene, encouraging me to be me, and, actually showing a real good fucking interest in the fact that I was getting myself out there. And it really did sort of push me to be a lot more outgoing, but also I sort of push myself to adopt a sort of take no shit attitude and not have people, take advantage of my, good nature, by adopting like a sort of like persona that is a bit of both, is a bit, naughty natured and nice natured, and mixing that up. And I definitely think, this year I've grown exponentially because I've put myself out there, whereas beforehand, I'd sort of wait for other people to sort of like invite me to go to animals, whereas now I'm just like, oh, animals, just going to get a ticket. I'm just going to get a ticket. And if I go with someone, brilliant. If not, at least I know that there's going to be people there that I've either chatted on Telegram with or, met in real life, and I have that vibe. And it's really nice to have, a bunch of friends behind me. I co-run a Discord group for pups that's grown quite a lot over the past year or so. And we have a nice little community there that, the majority of the stuff we do is online, and we have done like events where we've met at like an animals, or we've met at Doggy Weekend. And I just think that that's helped me. The community has helped me massively, sort of open the box of trauma that I have and be able to sort of like sort it out and go, well, this happened to me, and what happened to me is really, really fucking shitty. And it is, but I've not let it, I have, and I haven't let it define me. I used to let it define me, whereas now I'm treading my own ground and I'm doing my own thing. And what I'm doing is for myself rather than other people. And that was a mistake that I made when I first got into the community, was going to certain events with certain people, doing what they wanted to do. And that sort of put a bit of taste in my mouth a little bit. I was happy that I was in the community, but I was kind of, again, I was falling into the trap of conforming to other people's view of me rather than being my true self. And like I say, over the past year is when I've properly blossomed as, Kemriss, Remisk, and Amarok. And I've made a sort of like a good name for myself. And the good thing I like is the feedback that I get from people after meeting me. I've had people message me on Telegram going, you are so nice and you are so genuine, and you look out for everybody, even if they're not part of a friend group or a group that you are integrated with. You make sure that you invest your time into everybody around you, and I love that. I also love the comments that I'm sexy as fuck and I've got an ass of pure muscle. those comments do me good as well.
Yeah.
But it's the comments of how I carry myself as a person are the comments that I really do love. And it's what I strive towards. I strive to be one of those people that are easily approachable. And I think it's because of the trauma that I have gone through that I am easily approachable. And, I'm thankful to myself for not being that shell, and for actually climbing out of it, and climbing out of it as somebody who is better than what they were before it all happened. And unfortunately, that has shaped my journey, but I've not let it shape my journey of continuing trauma. I've shaped it into a journey of, longevity of me as a person, to get myself out there, to be a source of comfort for others. And my part in where I am in my life now, I'm really happy. There's obviously still room for improvement. Everyone has room for improvement. Nobody is perfect. But right now, I'm perfect where I am until I want to move forward more.
I do apologise for being a lurker in the Discord channel. I used to be very active.
Fine.
I used to be very active. However, time and doing this podcast, I don't get time to be as naughty and sociable in the Discord as much. And I do forget it's there.
It's a nice little community we've built. I don't know whether I can plug it on this channel.
You can fucking plug it. Go fucking plug it.
Of course you can.
So, our Discord is called Doggy Style, and it was set up by Scritch, who is absolutely fucking lovely. They're amazing. They are there for everyone. And they've built this proper little community that we're all members of, and it's currently standing at like 280 members, so it's still quite smallish, but it's big enough, and it's well regulated. The admin team
268.
268. Okay,
With 87 online now.
I know, it's really good. I love it. There's, it's an 18 plus server. So, when people come in, we do ask for ID. So we do that sort of level of moderation. And, all the channels are moderated in terms of, and the thing is like, Squitch is they are a level of perfectionist. So there's a lot of channels dedicated to certain kinks. There's, gaming channels as well. And yeah,
there's a hot tub.
There is a hot tub. There's a sauna,
there's 4 people in it at the moment.
We're not going to say who's in there though, so don't.
Yeah, we're not doxing people. We're not.
No, we're
there's
not
some
doxing
people. There's some people in the Magic the Gathering channel because we're all fucking weebs. But yeah, it's a really nice little community, and I'll ask Squitch if I can give you guys the link to obviously put that out there if you guys are comfortable doing that. But yeah, without that community, I don't think I would be part of who I am today. There's a lot of people that have been there for me. And there's been some times where I've crashed out in that server when I've been overwhelmed after like an event or something has happened, or as I say, I'm there for everybody else, not for myself. So even when I'm there for everybody else, I have to have an outlet. I don't say what someone has told me, but I will say, oh, I've been there for somebody, they've told me stuff that's really kind of unsettled me, I don't know how to fucking process this to also help them. So, and they've all been there to go, okay, well, you don't have to tell us about it, but we're here for you if you just want to vent about stuff. And normally it's me going, I don't know why I'm not telling people how I'm feeling, because I'd rather not tell people my issues. And I have other people tell me theirs, and I try and help with it. The community's there for me, and they've been there for me so fucking much. And I love every single one of them, even though some of them do get on my tits. But hey, who's gonna be perfect? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Some of them may get on my tits, but those people I'm still there for, despite the fact that my tits are massive.
So we now go on to my fun little bit.
There's already music. You don't need to sing.
Oh, but I like to. I like to do my own little jingle. It's fun.
Can you please
keep doing it?
Make it so auto-tuned that it sounds so wrong.
Oh, God.
That sounds like me, to be honest. Can we auto-tune me, please? Can we add some auto-tune? Just like
I don't have auto-tune, but
better.
I do have Vocodex, so I can Vocodex you.
Oh, no, I'm scared. I'll turn into an alien and I won't notice. You'll publish an alien version of me, and I'm very scared about that.
Well, too late. I've probably already done it.
I'm not going to say anything because you're going to just do it. So our question for today is, what is Aftercare and why it matters? Each week we do the Deviant Download, where we talk about an educational topic and then post something on Instagram. So Aftercare, a really important subject. We've talked about it a little bit in the episode. I want a definition from you, Kemriss. How would you define Aftercare?
So for me, Aftercare is making sure that someone feels as wanted after the moment as they do in the moment. And that for me is, again, it's like my bread and butter. So I always offer, Aftercare to people that I do scenes with, or I just, have a hookup with, whether that be cuddles. I mean, with some of my friends that I do link up with, that is a fucking big bowl of pork belly ramen because I'm really fucking good at making it.
But yeah, Aftercare is about the support afterwards, and it really, Aftercare isn't just kink or BDSM set. You have Aftercare in healthcare and social services, tattooing. How Aftercare of tattoos. So generally the definition is referring to ongoing support, physical care, treatment, giving something specific to what they need after what the situation has been. For us, it's pounding a hole, doing heavy impact play or just gentle impact play, any sort of scenario in kink, BDSM, or just generally sex, really, isn't it?
Yeah.
So, so you said that aftercare for you, when you're giving it, is making someone a lovely pork ramen. Is that correct?
Just limit it to that. I wouldn't just limit it to
not
that.
Just not just that.
My Uber's here now. I got a dash. No, it's not that. You know, it's. I like to think that aftercare is bespoke to every single person, and you know there are some people that would sooner be pounded and then they fucking leave. And the easy icon to see that is when they immediately get up, get their clothes. I still say, hey, do you want to stay for 5 minutes? Do you want to wind down? And they're like, no, I'm gonna book an Uber. All well and good, but there are some people that do want to have those cuddles in bed and talk about it, debrief. It's the same in aftercare as well. I'm happy to provide cuddles with someone and then just check in to see whether it's like, are these cuddles going on too long for you? Do you feel awkward? I'm happy to lay there for a good 30 minutes to an hour, just sort of like, chatting, listening to the music, because I always play music because fucking music during sex is really good. It's good afterwards as well. And aftercare is just one of those things that it should be tailor-made for every single meet that you have. It's not the same. The pork belly ramen for me is just a signature. It's a signature thing that have offered to people. It's just with some of my hookups. It's an expectation now. I have to get the pork belly in if I have to fucking get them. If I want them round, I'll message them and I'll go, hey, do you want to link up in, tonight or whenever you're next free? And they're like, yeah, of course, but is the ramen going to be on offer? And I'm like, yeah, it fucking is. Shut up.
But it is really important because it's. I was going to go through the different types of aftercare, but it comes under this physical comfort sort of thing. Food removes that fight and flight response, so you've got a lot of adrenaline in you while you're doing sex and intimate things. And having food, it sort of puts you into this rest and digest. Like when you have a big meal, all you want to do is rest, don't you? So it actually switches you out into a different headspace and allows you to process, but also brings up the blood sugar, brings the food in, brings the blood sugar back in, because you've done an exercise. People forget it is exercise, and a good sugary sweet or some sort of food does help bring the blood sugars back quite well, actually. But there's different types of aftercare. So we talked about a few, but categorizing them, it's sort of physical comfort, so intimacy, or teddy bears. So it's like physical comfort, but not you, but having something to physically comfort. That's one of them. Emotional and verbal reassurance. So saying, how are you doing? Oh, how are you feeling? How's your body right now? You did really well. Who's a good boy? Do you mean? And that assurance that they haven't. Sometimes people feel that they've let you down because maybe they've had to stop, or maybe something hasn't gone the way that they have dreamt of or envisioned, and actually go, no, that was great. Like, just reassuring them. Touch and affection. Some people like spooning. Everyone likes resting their head on my chest. I don't know what it is. It's like a blanket to them. People just seem to lie on my chest, and I just give them scritches, just give them nice touches. It's sort of physical comfort and the touches, so they do overlap. But like you're saying, sometimes people like solitary and safe-based care. So some people might not want to stay and might want to go, I need to go to my safe space and I'll decompress there. Or I need to be on my own. Or maybe it's even the very neurodivergent thing, I think, of sitting next to each other and not saying a word. But you're like body doubling. You're just next to each other. You're just chilling. You're just going, I just need someone here. I don't want to talk. I don't want any comfort. I want to be on my own space, but I just want you near. Just that for a few minutes, just to allow me to come back into the room. And that's really important as well. Hormonal and sub-drop management, checking in over time. So 12 hours later, how's your mood? How's you going? Do you mean? And also sometimes some grounding. So weighting blankets. Yeah. We've also got boundary and vulnerability management. So it's about having a non-critique window or saying maybe not this now. That's really important about aftercare. Sensory aftercare, turning the lights down, closing the blind, saying okay, or even turn it, so some sort of sensory thing. So where you might be overstimulated normally, just allowing the stimulation. I've had one person who had the lights on a red when we were having sex, and then when we started chilling, they changed the lights to more of a calming tone. I think it might have been a purpley sort of like soft purple, and it really did help change the mood, and it really brought me back into the room. And non-romantic aftercare, just being friends, put a TV show on, and just some sort of a board game even. Do you mean something that's just platonic, that's just, you're still enjoying each other's time, but it's slowly going down those sort of levels to just bring it back to normal. There were some of the categories. I don't know. I think that was good. I don't know. But it does matter though. And why does it matter about aftercare?
I think to me, it's just showing someone that they're not just worth it in the moment, you know.
Yeah.
And it's something that shows that, you know, as a person, I am, you know, my level of, you know, friendshipness and how I am and how I show myself to others, it goes beyond sex. And I think that is, you know, something that, you know, my background has sort of helped manifest, because, you know, people aren't just objects, and they shouldn't be treated as such. I mean, there are some people that like to be treated as objects. That's absolutely, that's absolutely fine. I've got, you know, a couple of people that, you know, have requested that I treat them as such. Still afterwards, I still do that check-in of, was everything okay? Did I take it too far? And the aftercare, I think, helps take that edge off. You know, if I was to, you know, have one of my friends around the likes being used and didn't do the aftercare, I think they would legitimately question it, because they're so used to the aftercare that I provide to them that they would genuinely go, is everything okay? You didn't give me the cuddles, you didn't ask me if I wanted a drink, you know, you didn't ask if I wanted hot chocolate with fucking marshmallows on, which is something else I've done as well. But it's one of those things that I openly provide to everyone that's willing, because I don't want them to feel as if they're only useful to make me come, because the people in my life are much more than that, and my actions, I think, are evidence of that.
I think it's really important for their own mental well-being as well, because I've had times where I probably needed aftercare and I dropped, and everything becomes 10 times worse. So even if you don't think of them like that, and you maybe try to do so, but you automatically have this drop, and dom drop and sub drop, and when the stimulus goes, all of the transmitters change, the dopamine goes weird, adrenaline goes weird, and you just crash because all the neurotransmitters gone, and you start spiraling. And it is a really bad time being in that space without support. And it's just really important that you've got that care. And even if you are someone who, might like being treated like an object, and goes into dark rooms and lays there and lets people do what they want, you still have to have your own form of aftercare. Even if it is just going sitting in a dark room and being in silence. Totally fine, that's valid. As long as it helps you build yourself up and bring yourself back, because sub drop and dom drop I think it's dangerous, really. It can be very dangerous. It can put you in a really bad mindset. Even if they're You forget if they're your friends or whatever. Actually, we've got to treat everyone like a human being. And you're not going to treat a human being like that. You're not going to leave them and let them crash and be pale and be really ill, because that's not being human. Do you mean we've got to treat everyone as humans, and we've got to be respectful of everyone?
Yeah.
Definitely.
It's not just for subs. As a
No,
dom,
it's not.
you have to have aftercare as well, don't you? What's your aftercare for when you're a dom?
Again, so some of the subs that I have, like, sub-dom relationships with, they're the ones that actually do get the pork belly ramen, and me cooking is actually my way of sort of, I'm doing that thing to care for them now. I've, for all sense of purposes, I've used them. They've wanted me to use them. This is me giving back to them. Is I'm cooking for them. I'm giving that guardianship over them. And I'll just check in and I'll go, what did you? That's when I do the conversation of what did you like about that? Was there anything that could have gone differently if you wanted it to go differently? Most of all, how are you? Me checking in with that sub is actually my aftercare, because it shows me that I've not gone overboard, and that's the thing that I worry about the most. But yeah, my aftercare of what I give to myself is giving back to the sub that I've spent a good few hours using the hell out of, and that to me is what I do to sort of ground myself. I know that's not the case for a lot of DOMs. There's a lot more intricacies of what they need to do to kind of unwind and desensitize, sorry, from, what they've done, or, the things that they've done within, that scene or that meet. But to me, giving back to the sub is my aftercare. And that's what I love doing.
Also, I was thinking, when you cook ramen, you're doing a step routine, and that's quite important as well. Is that if you have a routine of, okay, I've got to do this, I've got to put the noodles in, I've got to cook the meat, do you mean? And that brings you back to existence as well. And I think that's probably a bit of your aftercare as well from listening to it, is that having that step process really helps you bring yourself back into the room after destroying a cute little puppy.
Yeah, definitely. As fun as it is to destroy a puppy, I find it's more fun to just have a real good chat afterwards.
Yeah,
I really do like that.
But you just start talking about shit, and it's actually quite nice, because you don't normally do that. Do you mean afterwards you just start rambling about random stuff, and it's really nice. And I think you build a good connection afterwards. And people always say to me, "What is good aftercare?" I'm like, it's so specific, and it so changes. Like, I know people that I've played with where this is what we did for aftercare then. Now it's totally different, because it evolves, it adapts, it changes. As your dynamics change, they change. But also as people grow, they change. So for me, I find it very hard when someone says, "Oh, tell me what good aftercare is." I'm like, good aftercare is where you're both supported and feel good, and you've built each other back up again. And they're like, "Oh yeah, but what is it?" I don't know. It's up to you. Do you mean it's to you to decide what aftercare is for you?
Yeah.
Good aftercare is bespoke to the individuals. Like, if you've gotten to know each other, each other's aftercare routine and what works for them and what doesn't. And it depends on the situation that you've been in and the situation you're in then. There's no good answer to good aftercare, because it's just something that should just happen. Yeah. No, I would fully agree with that. It doesn't just limit to in bedroom activities. It also stretches as far as going to a kink event and blasting someone's brains out in the dark room. Check in with them afterwards. If they've given you a good time, make sure that you fucking gave them one as well. Don't just leave them on the table dripping with your cum. Check in and say, was that okay? Is there anything I can do? Or better still, offer them a fucking drink. You know, if you've blasted their brains out and you've come deep inside them, or it's the other way around, you know, that you can have a Dom bottom there, you know, drain the living daylights out of you, not just cum, but your life essence as well. Check in with them,
My
check whether
favorite thing to
everything
do.
was fine. But I always check. I always check in afterwards. I'm like, was that good for you? It was fucking amazing for me. Give them the aftercare of knowing that you have literally been fucked that hard and that well that your legs are like jelly. If your legs are like jelly, tell them. That is one of the biggest things for me that's a turn on, is knowing that I've turned someone into mush. If someone turns around to me and goes, God, I can't fucking walk, I'll go, is that a good thing? Hell fucking yeah. That to me is good aftercare, knowing at an event I've given someone a good time.
Yep.
As the top here, I'm very scared now.
I'm
There are
scare
two dumb
roused.
bottoms, and I'm very scared for my life and for my genitals.
Death by snoot.
It has a Futurama episode, but
Yeah.
So I think that will wrap up Aftercare. There will be a carousel coming out afterwards, so go and check that out. Anyway, Dax, do save me. It's your turn. Go on to your dice.
It's time for Dax's Dice. Roll it, own it, share it. The dice don't judge, and neither do we. Are you feeling lucky, Kemriss?
I'm always lucky.
Ooh, I like
make
that.
my own luck.
I like that. I
Oh, no,
like the
not-
confidence. I like the
Not a
confidence. Let's
critical
see if that
20,
lasts.
Please. Please no.
Oh, it's a 9. Which is... Ooh, we
Which
like this
is?
question. It's the question that
Do
you
we?
got asked, Quincy.
Oh,
What's your biggest I shouldn't, but I would?
moment.
My my biggest I shouldn't, but I would. That's actually a hard one.
I know, I got it.
That is a very fucking hard one, actually.
Yeah.
Is this like something that I've encountered in real life that's happened to me, or is this something that I would do if it was offered to me, but I shouldn't?
I think it's something that you would do if it was offered, but something that you'd normally be like, nah, I shouldn't do that.
I think I did both, didn't I? I think I did a moment and then also I would, but I shouldn't. So you can do either way.
To be fair, I've never done, like, do you know, the stallion mare, whatever it's called. I really want to fucking do it. In my head, I'm like, I shouldn't because of obviously the inherent risks, but I so fucking would if someone offered me. I would
Do
be, and I would be that pup, that one pup in the room with 20 tops, and I would just let them have me for all fucking night. If I'm in that mindset, genuinely, when I'm in a bottom mood, I'm in a bottom mood. And the problem is with myself is if I do have somebody fuck me, it's only 20 minutes after that I'm like, do you want to go again?
I feel
And
that.
not even
Yeah.
that. Not even that. It's not even 20 minutes sometimes. Sometimes it's like they've come and I'm like, what's your recovery time?
Literally.
Death by snoo. Oh god.
As I said earlier, I've been told that I have an ass of pure muscle. So I am very fucking tight. And I have a good recovery time on my ass as well. I've had someone fuck me and my ass has looked like a punch lasagna. And then 20 minutes later it's
Wow.
fine.
Love that. Yeah, no, absolutely do horse fair. Do it.
I do plan on it if it's offered to me. I'm probably not going to seek it out. But then again, I am going to Mas Palomas, so you never know. I might come back on this show and be like, yeah, I might come back on this show and go, I got it, guys. I got all the loads.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to work out if Mas Palomas Fetish Week does have one. I can't remember.
Is it not sponsored by Darklands?
No, they do an evening event. They used to do an evening event. I haven't been in a little while, so to be honest, I've only looked at the pup stuff. I've looked at the puppy boat, and I am struggling to work out. However, there is a lovely pool area with a nice dark room where this stuff occurs, but it's not a horse fair. But yes, very active area near the poolside. And then you get to go in the pool after you shower to make sure that you don't get cummy ears in the pool. But yeah, no, it's yeah, you should try it. I've been meaning to try it.
What if I want to nurture the cum horses in the swimming pool?
Oh God,
Fair.
no. I actually first time I got a ticket this year because I wanted to try it at Darklands, and then unfortunately I wasn't able to go, and I still don't know. I'm very much in the same mindset of you, is that I do want to do it, but no. I don't want to do it. No. I do struggle with that.
I've got my ticket for next year already. And that'll be my 5th one that I've done.
I do plan on doing Darklands next year because I've not done Darklands yet, but I do plan on doing it. But yeah, I wouldn't seek it out. But if the offer was to come to me, if like one of my friends was like, "I'm going to a horse fair," I'd be like, "Do you want a +1?"
And, unfortunately, all the bottom tickets have the mare tickets have been sold out for Darklands. I apologise. You may have to join the tops.
That's fine, because the thing is, as a top, I have a lot of stamina and I really find it hard to come at events. So it's a double-edged sword. I can fuck all night and then not come, and I'll just use my doxy wand when I'm home and come on my own terms. So yeah, I'll join the tops. I'm happy to do that.
Yay! Good luck, Dax.
No, so that's fine. So he can last a while. Okay, let me just figure this out. So he can last a while. So if he was to fuck me at horse fair, get a decent fucking, and then afterwards can then take the cum. Yeah, that works. That works for me.
That's fine. And I also, as an added bonus,
death by snoo.
Also, as an added bonus, I have hyperspermia, so you will be filled.
Yes, bonus. All right.
Death by snoo.
That's my preferred method of death. Is just dicked to
drowning.
Death.
Drowning.
I'll waterboard you with cum.
I mean, I think that's perfect, and I actually think that's a good place to end it on such a high note.
Yep.
So Kemriss.
Hi.
Yeah, no, my brain's not working anymore. All I'm thinking about is other things. Please give your please give your socials out to the audience.
So at Pup Kemriss on basically everything.
Oh, that's easy.
Nice. Same with me.
I fucking hate you.
At the Pup Stacks for everything.
Oh.
My Blue Sky is pretty unique. So on Blue Sky it's a bit different. Is at so it's Kemriss being dog. So Kemriss
nice.
being dog.
Oh, that's nice. I need to sort out Blue Sky. I don't use it really. I
barely use it. And to be fair, I was one of those people that said I'm not going to use Twitter anymore. Elon Musk has bought it, but everyone's come back. So you go where unfortunately you go where the audience is.
You go where the cum is.
You go where the cum is. So also, I think my Telegram is just Kemriss. I'm just checking now. Yeah.
You're giving a Telegram out?
Ooh, you're brave.
Why the fuck not? I'm brave. Because the simple fact is the block function is a thing, and also I do have a den in my bio where I put my spicier things. So, go into my bio, click it, and you'll see the additional content. You'll see the DLC. But if you want, you can edit it. You can edit it out if you think I'm at risk of dickheads. But I'll just tell them they're a dickhead.
That's about it.
Yeah, and I think that's it. So, I've been Quincy.
I've been Dax.
And I've been a gremlin.
And we'll see you next time on
Bye-bye.
Deviants. Deviant Duo. My brain's not working.
Yep, that's what 2 hours will do to you.
Do you want to do that again?
No,
it's fine.
Yeah.
Bye-bye.